Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another STAMPtember limited edition exclusive video. Today we are focusing on the limited edition collaboration with Memory Box called Good Cheer. This adorable set features 2 penguins, a snowman, some other little imagery, and 3 sentiments. And we're going to use 3 of the images, one of the penguins, the snowman, and the gift package, and I am pairing these with one of my favorite die sets from Simon Says Stamp for scene building called Woodland Treescape. I have used 3 shades of Spellbinders cardstock to die cut my woodland treescape here, and we are going to insert these adorable images into this scene. So I've started by stamping my images on some Nina smooth white cardstock with Hero Arts intensified black ink for alcohol ink coloring, and then I'm coloring in my images. So a color combination that I have absolutely been loving lately is blue and white, or blue, white, silver. Today it's blue and white. And when I was thinking about this card and what I wanted to create and the feeling I wanted to convey, the story I wanted to tell, that story is of icy blue winter vibes. And so I chose to use shades of blue for my coloring, a little bit different, I know, than a lot of the things I've been doing lately. I tend to find myself shifting when I'm creating. I'll go along and do the same colors or similar colors and styles for a while, and then I just naturally find myself shifting. I don't know what it is that creates that, but I kind of tend to allow myself to roll with it. I know I tried to be talking about this a little bit more lately. I've gotten a lot of questions about design process. Where do I start? This card very much started by, how do I want to build a scene around these critters? What story do I want to tell? And that is where I started. And I will be completely honest, I did not know the color scheme when I was thinking about this the night before I created the card. I generally like to think about it, pull out my products that I think I want to use. In this case, I pulled out the Woodland Treescape, and then I went to bed. When I got up the next morning to go to work and to create this card, that's when I decided. I didn't decide it laying in bed. I don't know if sleeping on it is one of those things that helped, but I instantly went and pulled out blue cardstock. I did pull out other colors than the ones that I ended up with here. I laid them all out on my desk. I thought about it, and I had recently used these exact 3 colors in another card, and I was like, why invent the wheel? So I simply pulled out these colors and went to work, and then I picked out Olo markers, alcohol ink markers, to match my cardstock, and this card came together. One of the fastest cards I feel like I've created in quite some time, surprisingly, even with the coloring. It's pretty minimal coloring, honestly, especially if you limit the amount of colors used, but oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, I've taken the coordinating dies for this stamp set and die cut my colored images, and as always, the colors I used are listed down in the description below the video here on YouTube and over on my blog. Link to that is down in the description as well if you want a close-up peek at the photos, etc. And then I had die cut the 3 panels for this Woodland Treescape from these 3 shades of Spellbinders cardstock. And then I dropped it after I put my foam adhesive on the back right on top of my colored images. Thank goodness it didn't stick. I also have a beautiful brushed white background for the background of this scene. You could just put it on your white card, but I love that little bit of shimmer from the brushed white. And then I'm going to make sure I use my black Jelly Roll pen to add detail to the eyes. I'm going to admit this here. I had to color the snowman twice. I colored in, or I used the black Jelly Roll pen. You do have to let that black Jelly Roll dry. And I thought I had, and I smeared the black of the eyes all over the face. I was very unhappy. And so I actually had to stamp and color him again. Even at that, this card took like 45 minutes, tops. And that was with filming. So I sometimes think the filming process makes the card creation a little bit longer because I have to think about staying in frame and, those kinds of technical things. Okay, so I've popped up the base layer and then I have positioned the penguin. What I love about this set is it allows for layers. It allows for that depth and dimension. It looks amazing on its own, but you can literally take any stamp or die set where the images fit within it, and you can create these awesome scenes. So what I've done is I popped up the first layer. I glued the second layer on top of that. And then I have added my penguin. I'm going to add one of the trees. The trees are part of the Woodland Treescape. There's also snowflakes, moon, stars, those, and the light, which I think is a really fun addition. You could cut that out if you don't want that in your scene. I think it would be, it would be super easy to just trim that down at the base and forget about it. I did leave it in here, so I did position my penguin. And then that top layer, I've added some trees. I also added one tree on that second layer. These are also die cut from brushed white. So the same color as the back, which has that little bit of shimmer to it, which allows for a little bit of texture. Before I add that third layer, the third and final layer that goes on top of this, I do want to build my light. So this has got all the little layering pieces to it. Don't worry, I will add the flame for the light. I did wait to add that till the end because it's so teeny tiny. I had already die cut these other pieces from brushed black. I'm going to die cut the little flame from brushed gold, and we'll come back to that. So here I colored in the eyes. This is the original snowman. We'll see if I leave it on camera. I can't remember if I did or not. I think I just put my hand in it. Nope, not yet. So I popped up that third layer. Oh, there, I just put my finger in it. See that? I just want to be real that this happens. Very unhappy. I was so close to being done. So close. So I'm going to tuck the present in. I have taken a moment. I have recolored my snowman and we're going to glue him right on top. The present is kind of tucked between layers 2 and 3, which I love. I stamped and embossed the sentiment on the brushed black cardstock. I used Winter Wishes, and then we're going to position it right here in the frame. I felt like I really wanted to keep white space. And in this instance, that white space is that area all around. Everything is concentrated in the opening of this Woodland Treescape. So I am going to not overfill and overflow this. I did use the snowflake from Woodland Treescape and die cut that from white glitter cardstock multiple times, or twice. It die cuts twice, I guess. And we are going to add those 4 snowflakes to the scene, and then we're going to finish with a scattering of opal, positively dazzling gems. These opal gems are some of my favorites. They're kind of that white gemstone. I'm only going to use the smallest ones. We're going to use them in the center of the snowflakes. We're also going to scatter a few additional around our scene here. I did take a white pen. You'll notice that in certain elements on my card, and I added a few little highlights here and there, just depending. And I decided not to add any extra distress, no splatter. I considered using the rock candy glitter. I do think that would have been kind of cute, but I was going more for simplicity, believe it or not. I know there's a lot going on as far as the scene building for this card, but I liked it. The more I looked at it, the more I talked myself out of the extra glitter, the extra splatter, things that I do really, really like, because there are all of these layers, and I just love it, you guys. It turned out so cute. We will glue this entire thing to a white top fold card base to finish it off, but it builds just the cutest little scene. And if you haven't picked up that Woodland Treescape, it's been out for maybe a year, maybe 2. I can't remember. It is awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Memory Box STAMPtember card. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community.